Autobots roll out!
Hey Dabbers, and welcome back to another Dab 2000 video, and today I will be ranking all 7 of the live-action Transformers movies, and you probably already knew that because first the title of this video, first the thumbnail, and second, Junior same rollout.
I'm an Autobot.
We had a mistake after this video and he banged his foot.
Yeah, I banged it on this metal pipe, boys.
Part of the green screen, but didn't need that bit. And he said Autobots don't feel pain, which I don't think is true.
Bro, Optimus Prime died 1,000 times and he's still alive.
Yeah. So, it's finally the day that I rank all 7 of the Transformers movies because I was going to rank them a while back until I realized there was the Rise of the Beasts coming out. And I was like, I might as well just wait for that movie because it's newer and stuff. And yeah, it was very painful to watch all these movies. It really was. Like,
Except
most
for
of
the
these.
newest one.
Except for some of them, which, like, the top 3 on this list are pretty good ones. The rest are, I don't find enjoyable at all.
I never
So,
watch them again.
yeah, so let's just get started in this ranking. This should be a short one because there's only 7 movies on this list, and I didn't include any animated Transformer movies because I don't want to watch them, and I've just seen the live-action ones. Alright, at number 7, I have Transformers The Last Knight. This is the last, I believe this is the last Transformer movie with Michael Bay in it. And it's not that good. There is so many plot points going on in this movie, and it's very hard to keep track of what is actually happening in this movie. It's just all over the place with every single storyline, and the characters I don't really care about. Most of the Transformers, you don't remember basically any Transformers in these movies except for Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And then, like, of course, Transformers Rise of the Beast has some more interesting characters you remember, but we're not on to that yet. We're on Last Night. And the only thing I remember...
Last night?
Yeah. This one?
Like last night?
No. But the only thing you really remember about this film in particular is that Optimus Prime turns evil. That's really it. That's all you really remember about it. All that, it's very forgettable, and I really have a tough time remembering what really happened in this movie. Alright, number 6 is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. This is the second Transformers movie, and, you know, I thought the first Transformer movie was pretty good, and I was kind of excited to watch the rest of this series. I watched this one, and I was very disappointed. Now, I do have a fresh knowledge of what happened about this movie, because me and Junior made a podcast about this one, where we remake the Revenge of the Fallen.
Honestly, they were really good.
Yeah, something... You just have to watch the video and see, but Junior's remake is insane, and I can't believe he did what he did in that. So, go check it out if you want to see what ridiculous remake script Junior had, because it was pretty insane, and I don't think anyone was expecting that coming. But, back to this movie. I don't really like this movie. I thought all these plot points were very weird and not that great. I don't really like all the Transformers in this movie. And I just thought it was kind of weird that they didn't do that much with the Fallen, the main villain of this. They barely did anything with him. They just introduced some of this overpowered Transformer and did nothing with him. So, it was just a very strange thing. And then, like, Optimus Prime dies halfway through this movie. And I'm like, what? Why? And then he comes back at the end. And I'm like, what is happening? Why did Optimus Prime have to die? It's just a very weird Transformers movie. All right, number 5 is Transformers: The Dark of the Moon. Now, basically, I should have said this: 6, 5, and 4 are basically the same level of not good Transformers movies. They're basically like the same rating and everything. They all have their same problems, but, like, I do find some of them more enjoyable than the others. So I thought Transformers Dark of the Moon is better than Revenge of the Fallen because of the final fight in, I think it's Chicago or whatever. and when the buildings are like crushing on top of each other. I mean, that is actually really good action sequences when they're like all falling from the building and stuff. It's just really cool action, but I wish I could say that the whole movie was as good as the final fight. The rest of it, I just forget what happens in the beginning of this movie. It's just like very slowly develops this final fight. And the final fight is really cool. It's just to get there is a while to do. Because like you have to watch all this boring pieces and you don't really care that about this. You just want to get to the final act because it's really cool. So, not really that good of a Transformers movie. Alright, number 4, I have Transformers Age of Extinction. Now, a lot of people would have this at their towards bottom, one of their least favorites. I kind of do enjoy this one. Sure, it's like too long, and most of the characters aren't that likable, but I mean, it is really cool to see Optimus Prime ride a T-Rex in, where is it? Just Tokyo?
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's the only reason why I really do like this movie. Is like, you can't not tell me it's not cool to see Optimus Prime ride a T-Rex destroying Decepticons. I mean, it's just very cool to see that scene. And then I just liked all the dinosaurs in this movie, and I just like the weird, insane action. Of course, the main guy and the villain fight in a house and stuff. It's just, I just like the action scenes in this movie, so that's why it bumps up a bit above Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon and stuff, because I like the action scenes in this movie a lot more than the story of the other ones, and I like the action scenes a lot more in this one than the other ones. Alright, we made it to the top 3. Now, these ones are actually pretty good Transformers movies. So at number 3, I have Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now, I think this might be Junior's favorite. I don't know.
This is my favorite. How's it number 3?
I don't know. I like the other 2 better. You guys probably know what the top 2 is already. But, you know, this one's not bad or anything. It's pretty good. So, basically, the only reason why it's not in, like, top 2, like Junior just said, is because I thought the animal Transformers were really good in this movie. I wish they did more with them. Like, they're introduced halfway through this movie. Well, they're introduced at the very beginning, but halfway through is when they start becoming, like, a main character. And the only 2 of the animal Transformers get a storyline. It's Optimus Primal and the Eagle. The Cheetah and Rhino are just background characters. And I thought they could have done a lot more with the animal Transformers, because I think that would be a lot cooler. And I also think they shouldn't have killed Bumblebee. They killed Bumblebee way too early. And I thought that was a twist. I was like, they kill him very early. And then he comes back, and it's cool to see him the savior at the end of this movie, but I just wish he was in it more. But those are my only 2 criticisms about this movie. The rest of this movie is actually really good. I actually like the final fight in this place, and like all the Autobots are trying to fight. I also think this is by far Optimus Prime's best stage of fighting and stuff. I think he has the best fight scenes in this movie. And I think the villain, Scourge, is probably one of the best in the franchise, because he actually proposes as a real threat to our Transformers and actually takes them down. And sure, the human characters aren't always the best in these movies, but it's really cool to see Noah, I think that's what his name is, Noah, get a Transformer suit at the end of this movie. I just thought that was awesome. And of course, Mirage is probably the best Transformer in this movie alone, because he's just so funny and he steals every scene he's in. So that's why I do like this movie, but it's not like to the top of the list. At number 2, I have Transformers, the original one. Now, this one's actually really good. This is the one that started this whole movie franchise, and it still holds up to this day. I really like all the action sequences in this movie, and I like the relationship between Sam and, I can never remember the girl's name, Makila. I tried to say this in our podcast, and I'm pretty sure I messed it up every single time. But It's fun to see all this stuff and like the introduce of the Autobots, all the like the final fight at the end on the bridge thing is just really cool, and this is just still an enjoyable Transformers movie. But at number 1, I have Bumblebee, the best, by far the best Transformers movie.
Second best.
Second best for Junior. I'm guessing his favorite is Rise of the Beast, then Bumblebee.
Yes.
So, I really like Bumblebee. Ever since I've seen this for the first time, I thought this is the best Transformers movie. I like all the characters in this movie because there's a lot of good characters in this movie. There's also, like, the Iron Giant, basically, type of story. Instead of the Iron Giant, it's Bumblebee. And it just works really well with this movie, as Bumblebee is trying to figure out some stuff, and he's just, like, in the house breaking stuff. It's just hilarious, and then, like, the villains are actually pretty compelling, too, when they try to attack Bumblebee at the end.
John Cena was in it, boys.
Yes, he was. So that's why, this one's not even Transformers. Bumblebee is at number 1. What did you guys think on my ranking down below in the comment section? And how would you guys rank these Transformers movies? I will check you guys on another Dab 2000 video and another ranking. Goodbye, Dabbers.